How do you, 8 days out, characterize your battle competition for starter, snaps, etc.?
Well, we hope that they'll battle every day. Right now, I think all four of them will play, and Rico, Daddle, and A.J. Turner and Tyson Williams are probably the top three, and then Mont Dixon could play.
Yeah. How much emphasis do you put on who takes the first, who lines up the first snap of the game? Do you consider that something that they earn and a reward, so it's a big deal, or you don't care?
It'll definitely be a big reward, but obviously they'll all play, especially those top three. So you want to get them ready every practice, ball security, pass protection. It's more than just running the football.
In a sort of theoretical world where everybody is kind of even, is there a snap breakdown that works, a 60-40 or 60-30-10, or I don't know?
What you'd like to do is that starter would go 2 series, get that number 2 guy that 3rd series, and then from there on you kind of go with the hot hand. I'm not a guy that believes in, the running back gets a long run and you take him out. I think if he makes a long run and he's still fresh, just keep him in there. He's reading the defense and let him go.
So you kind of feel like they're the guys who get better, who kind of get in the rhythm, get a little lathered up. There's something to that.
There's definitely you talk to all the great backs, they like it when they are in a rhythm and they get a feel for what the defense is doing and the blocking schemes.
Bobby, how do you expect to use A.J.? Will he be used in a lot of different ways because of his speed and versatility?
Well, he'll definitely be on all our special teams. He's a guy that one of our fastest guys on our team and practices so hard, so he'll definitely be on kickoff team. He'll be on kickoff return. He'll be on punt team, covering punts, and obviously we need to get the ball to him as much as we can on the edge and as much as we can in the backfield.
How much is he kind of a third down back, or is that inaccurate?
I don't know if you call him a third down back. I just say he's a guy that, as a staff, you sit down and you say you need to get the ball in his hands.
How much have you noticed the revitalization of this offensive line under Eric Wolf?
I think it's what Coach Wolf has done and what the offseason program has done is brought some strength to the offensive linemen. Obviously, they're a year older, but I think they're a lot better to run behind. There's more movement. There's more focus on the double teams maybe than before.
AJ noticed a lot of, they're getting the second level more. How imperative is that going up against such a vaunted defensive line like NC State's?
Well, with NC State, they're so good up front, you better make sure you take care of those guys first. Then again, their linebackers are very good as well. So you got to, pick your poison. You're going to stay on the double team and get that linebacker off, or you're going to have to make him miss yourself.
When will you pick a starter and when will you tell the players?
We haven't really had a time frame for it. But I would hope that they'd compete every single day in and out the meeting room and on the field.
Bob, what's the biggest difference between being Coach Bentley and Jake's dad?
It was probably harder last year, knowing that he was lining up when probably wasn't ready. But this year it's a little bit different for me because I'm able to focus on the running backs even more. I feel more comfortable with a year under my belt as a running backs coach here at South Carolina and in the SEC. So I think I've done a better job being father and being a coach with it. But it's tough. It obviously is tough. He's your son. No doubt about it.
What's the biggest difference?
How do you separate those two roles? How often do you and Jake talk during practice and after practice?
During practice, I don't really say much. During the game, I'm probably more of his cheerleader than anything. During practice, I really don't say much to him. Before practice, I do. I want to make sure I kind of know what he's thinking on some plays. I try to ask him, just sort of help me with the running backs too, so we'll know where our read is as far as the progression. But it's fun to be around Jake at this time. A lot of guys don't get to have their kids around in college football like my son Schuler. I'm dealing with him by a text message how he's doing, and with Jake, I'm right here with him. So it's a blessing.
Does he come over to the house, or is he pretty much on campus a lot?
He's on campus more, but he does come over with the guys and gets to see Paulette and the twins. But he's, even though we're close, he's still on campus, so we probably don't get to see him. I get to see him every day, but Paulette and the twins don't get to see him as probably much they want to see him.
Where is Jake right now in terms of mental and confidence, and I guess compared to last year? How would you describe his approach and his mental aspect? Right
That's a good question. I think Jake's a lot more mature within the offense. Jake's kind of always been a guy that's probably more mature than his age group, but probably because his athleticism made him. He always played up. But I think him being a year older in the system, and especially with the way Coach Roper coaches, I mean, he has to know all the protections, has to know all the blocking schemes to make sure he gets all the checks. So Coach Roper puts a lot on him. So he's got to be mature. He wouldn't be able to handle it.
Is there anything about Tyson Williams that has surprised you as far as how quickly he's come along?
He's a player. He's a very good player. You know, and I'd hope that all of them would sharpen each other. You know, that's the thing. You know, Tyson brings a different tool belt to the table than AJ, just like Rico. All of them are a little bit different and yet are similar. And you'd want them to compete every single day to get better because we got to get more physical. Bottom line is we've got talent, but I want to see it on the field. I want to see it in the NC State game. You know, I want to see it through the season, not just in the talking season.
Are you concerned at all about getting all three of them enough playing time? Does that worry you?
That's definitely a concern. I mean, you want to make sure you get them all on the field and get them reps. As a running backs coach, obviously as a guy that wants to win, you know, that wants to compete and score as many points as we can, you know, you look at it and you just want to win. So whatever each one can do to help us win, that's what we're going to do.
You got to keep their confidence up.
And you got to keep them up, and especially on Sunday. You know, you got to talk, you know, figure that out and try to get a healthy room is always a better room.
I know the circumstances are a little bit different for him, but just how far along has Rico come since last year when he was kind of getting his feet wet and getting used to this level?
Again, I think we can use that word maturity. I think he's more mature. I think he's definitely a guy that wants to get better. I think as you continue to improve his level of wanting to practice, level of wanting to practice every day, that's going to improve his skill level. But he's definitely improved. He's gotten stronger, and he's not grimacing as much, you know, with the body aches and things like that maybe he did as a freshman.
How about just the comfort of just being a running back as opposed to being a guy who was a quarterback in high school?
I think he definitely understands the importance of ball security more, you know, handling the ball at this level and running through the tackles like he has to do now. So I think it's definitely something that's improved, and he knows the focus of the physicality of being a running back in the SEC.
Outside of kind of the big three, what sort of progress have you seen from some of the other guys?
I think Mon Denson has improved tremendously. When I got here, I'm not sure I didn't think Mon was a player at this level. But he has responded, and he'll play this year. There'll be a time where he has to play, and he will play, and he's especially good with the ball in his hands. And as we get him better with the ball not in his hands and the things that take up a real, you know, complete running back, he'll be even better. Caleb Kinlaw has been hurt. We got to get him, you know, healthy, get him healthy where he can practice every day. But he's definitely improved, and Slade Carroll's been a great walk-on addition to us.
Is there a goal line or short yardage back? Is any of the three better at that?
You know, obviously those big guys you want to put in there in those goal line short yardage situations, but H.A. Turner's powerful. You know, even though he's little, he's powerful and probably has as good a what we call bull yardage last year as any back we had. And bull yardage means yards you make on your own, not just yards on contact, but making guys miss, just getting yards after a defensive coordinator would say you're supposed to be down.
Do y'all have a bull yardage goal?
Yeah, we try to be at 40%. That's our goal. You know, so far, you know, last year we were around 42, 43%. And we'd hope to be better, you know, because we got to average more yards per carry, especially against those good teams. And in those short yardage situations, we got to get the first down. If Coach Roper calls our number, we've got to get the first down.
How would you characterize this offense as a whole? You've obviously deep at running back. You got a ton of wide receivers. Jake's back. How would you? What's your word you would describe this?
Well, I think, you know, it goes back to you got 10 starters back. We're definitely going to be better on offense. You know, how much better it's going to be is when we go out there and improve on Saturdays. You got a lot of weapons. You got guys at wide out now. You got wide out, you know, got tight ends that can play. Our offensive line's better. You got a returning quarterback, and you got 3 running backs that can play. You just got to go out there and prove it.
Are there any backs that Rico reminds you of in the way that he often runs through first? He's really good at running through first contact.
His style's a little different. You know, he's a power guy, but yeah, he's a slash guy as well, and he's got a tremendous jump cut. So I'm not sure, you know, exactly who he reminds me of, but you know, he's got a unique ability to jump cut and get in behind the tackle and tight ends blocks on the zone, and can run the power as well.
You guys getting those bull yards?
The key is getting behind your pads, pad level, and getting your eyes under the defender's eyes, and obviously making people miss with your jump cuts, your lateral cuts, your hammers, lift drill. Anytime you get a 10-yard run, you would hope that 4 yards of it, 4 to 5 yards, is on you. 5 is from the offensive line, 5's from you. That's our goal.
We see you guys working on the jump cut when we get to watch practice, but is that more of a natural, instinctual thing to be able to pull it off?
Guys that don't coach running back say it's natural. I think it's a thing that you can enhance and teach them when to jump cut. Obviously, the best ones is God-given. I think Rico's jump cuts. He can jump cut 6 feet at times. I've seen Tyson do it, a 6-foot jump cut. So the more lateral they can do, their movements, and even on a jump cut, if they can jump back behind the block, it's just stuff they can work on. Their stiff arm, their spin move, all the different things that you can do in your tool belt as a running back to make yourself better is what we try to work on every day.
Does this running game look structurally different from the way it was last year? Is it really just more doing the stuff you did last year, just doing it better?
I think it's the same offense. It's just we're getting better. We're getting better at what Coach Roper wants and what he's demanding, and ultimately, our head coach says effort, toughness, and discipline. And when you hear those words, you talk about cock drill, you talk about 11 on 11 inside run, just being physical. Our football program's built on being physical, and that's what we've got to do as a group of running backs is be physical.
Have y'all measured Jake's jump cut yet?
Jake, we're about Jake's jump cut throwing that ball. That's what we need to worry about with Jake. That's a good question. That's good.